presenting Yoga for Health, an adventure in well-being with Richard Hittleman. Mr. Hittleman has introduced the practical benefits of yoga to more people than any living authority. His dynamic yoga instruction is a journey into second youth. And now here he is, author, lecturer, instructor, Richard Hittleman.
Well, a good day to you all, friends, and a very cordial welcome once again to our Yoga for Health program. You know, friends, those of you who have just recently joined us may consider yoga to be something new or something of a novelty, but I would like you to know that in reality, yoga is the world's oldest system of physical and mental culture, in other words, of keeping fit. It's actually thousands of years old, and it has survived intact almost exactly the way we're instructing it here, because it deals with the great natural potentials of the body and mind. In other words, it deals with development. We know that within us there's great force and great power and great beauty, and the idea is to bring it out. And the yoga techniques have been so successful over the centuries that they have survived these many thousands of years, as I say, just the way we're teaching them here. So let's have a yoga exercise right now, which is going to begin to loosen you up and release some of this great trapped vital force, some of this energy that you have lying within you, and that can be brought out and used if we simply give it the proper impetus, make the right movements to do so. First of all, I would like to introduce to you today Diane, who is our charming assistant and mother of our 3 children, and she will assist us, of course, in doing all of the exercises. And right now, if you will assume a cross-legged posture, which I hope is the half lotus for those of you who have been with us a while, and if you're not able to do that, a simple cross-legged posture will do. And for those of you who are by this time really quite advanced, why, you can get into this full lotus, which kind of locks the legs here and gives you great flexibility and strength in the ankles and the calves. So you can try any one of those 3 positions that you consider comfortable. The half lotus is generally the best posture for most of our exercises. All right, now, if you will do this with us with a lot of grace, of feeling of poise and balance and beauty, if you will do this, if you will bring up your arms very slowly, like a dance movement, if you will, so that the hands touch the chest. And now if you will slowly extend your arms straight out, and do that slowly, and really get at the elbows and the arms and feel them stretching. And now if you'll bring your arms back on a line with your shoulders, as you see Diane doing here, and take your time doing that. And then, if you'll clasp your hands behind your back, can you do that? And try to straighten out your arms as best you can. Take your time. And there's to be no strain and very little effort or energy put out. Now, if you keep your arms high, we want you to bend backward easily. And now, see if you can come forward and easily touch as far as you can down on the floor. In other words, if your head would touch the floor, that's fine. And if not, those of you who are just joining us or our new students who are perhaps a little stiff or tight, if you go down just as far as you can and stop. And now come back slowly. And I'd like you to bend way back once again at the waist with the hands touching the floor if you can back. And now let's do this the last time. Perhaps you're loosened up a little more. So you can go way up and over and down once again, and go down just as far as you can. New students, take a good look at Diane so you know the movements. Let some blood get into the head. Keep the arms high. You've got a lot working for you in doing that. And now come up very slowly and take your time and get those back shoulder muscles. Takes all the tension out. Now, uncross your hands slowly and sit with the hands on your knees. Remain in this position and take 5 complete breaths. And we'll be back with our exercises following this message. All right, friends, so that's 5 complete, slow, very deep inhalations using those 3 parts of the body as we've been speaking about, the abdominal area and the chest, and then the shoulders held high. And you continue to practice that because each time you do so, you learn something new about yourself. You begin to discover a lot of things about the way you've been breathing and the wrong way in which you've been breathing. All right, now, I'd like you to follow me, if you will, for a moment by first stretching your legs straight out and gently massaging your knees. You've been sitting that way several minutes now, and that's very good for the knees because it begins to give them a certain oiling or flexibility that they need very badly. I'd like you, if you will, just to glance at our chart here, which gives us the characteristics of youth as opposed to age. In other words, here are all the hero characteristics of youth, health, and beauty, and on the opposite side we have those of age. And in our yoga course here, what we're attempting to do is to regain all of these characteristics of youth and health and beauty And today, if you will, glance with me at number 5. Our hero for today is the resilience of muscles, resulting in firmness, which will lead to such things as taut skin, strength, and so forth, all of which are important characteristics of youth. And the villain on the program today is the loss of muscle tone, resulting, of course, in weakness and the sagging of the various parts of the body and flabbiness, etc. So what we want to do now is to regain the resilience of muscle tone. And you know, we can do that, friends, in our yoga exercises with very little effort and energy. Isn't it wonderful? You don't have to think about putting out a lot of energy and force to build up these muscles. But if you can do this, it's an internal movement. And I'll show you what we mean right now. I would like to work with you, according to your letters, on the legs and the thighs, because this seems to be an area that bothers many of you, is flabby, overweight, and so forth. You want to develop and streamline. I'll show you some exercises to do. If you'll stand up gracefully with us, as gracefully as you can, kind of bring your feet in and stand up just as gracefully as you can, all right? And we're going to do a modified chest expansion, which works on the legs, and particularly the hamstring muscles. So do this with us. Clasp your hands behind you very gracefully and feeling that the body is the temple of the spirit. And now, if you'll extend your left leg out to the side, to your left, as far as you can comfortably, I'd like you to bend your right knee, bring your arms up and your head down. And glance at Diane as she does this, arms way up and over, and the forehead going down toward the left knee, and the leg held straight, you see, and that'll give you a great pull in the back of the thighs there. All right, now if you come up very slowly, and take your time as you come up, and draw the left leg in slowly, and now let's extend the right one. All right, do that very gracefully, just like you're dancing, all right, and get it out there quite far. And now if you'll slowly bend down, and you go only as far as you can. Do not strain to get down an extra inch. As far as you're going is fine. This is what your body wants for you at this time. So if you go down as far as Diane is doing right now, that's excellent. Some of you may go all the way down, very far down, and get a real stretch behind there. This will also firm very much in the entire thigh. All right, so that's a hold as prescribed for you in the book. Come up very slowly. Remember to have patience and to hold the exercise. The extreme hold, the position that you hold, is important. Draw that right leg in slowly, all right? Unclasp your hands. I'd like you to sit down very gracefully now. And let's extend both legs straight out. And let's draw the right heel in so that it comes in as far as possible. And let's give the legs a real good workout by doing our alternate leg pull. So do this with us. Bring up your arms, so. And if you will reach way up and back, as you see Diane doing now, and then way up and over and down. And hold the farthermost area of your leg that you can possibly obtain here. All right? And the elbows will go out and the forehead will drop down. Now, hold the position. Keep the knee as close to the floor as possible. Some of you getting the foot underneath the thigh. That's incorrect. The foot just goes up against the thigh. And you see how Diane is here? Forehead way down and hold. Good. And come up very slowly. And now right leg stretch straight out. Bring in your left. Okay? And once again now, arms coming up very gracefully, and you go back as far as you can. This brings the abdominal muscles into play, friends. All right? And then way up and like a slow motion dive, and down as far as you can. And former students, you might be able to get your foot the way you see Diane doing here. New students, perhaps just your knee. It doesn't matter where you are. Let your elbows come out and your forehead go down as far as you can. Don't forget to bend your neck. Some of you keeping your head stiff. Get your head neck bent and your forehead way down there. Hold again for the prescribed number of seconds. Come up very slowly. All right, take your time. Take your time, take your time. Stretch your legs straight out. And now I'd like you to roll over, turn over as you're going to see Diane do here. Move with a lot of grace as much as you can. And we'll work with our locust posture, our grasshopper posture. So if you rest your chin on the floor now, make two fists out of your hands, thumbs down. I want you to push down with your fists as hard as you can and try to raise your both legs up. Good. All right. Hold it. Good. Hold it. Now bring them down slowly. All right. Now let's work with either leg individually. All right. So that push down with the fists, and let's bring the right leg up this time, Diane. Knees straight. Get it up as high as you can and hold. 3. I'm counting 10 seconds for you here. 6, 7. Way up as high as you can. Chin on the floor. See how Diane is? Come down slowly. Take your time doing that. All right. And now the left leg. This is for firming now and bringing back a lot of muscle tone. Ready? Left leg, all right? Bring it way up. Breathe normally, friends. Don't retain your breath. Some of you are holding the breath unless I tell you to do so, all right? So you're just breathing as normally as possible, and now that's a count of 10. Bring that leg down, and now that you've warmed up a little, let's really go at it with both legs this time, all right? So this time I want you to exhale, get all the air out of your lungs, and now I want you to inhale so that you build the lungs up, and you've got some support. Keep your chin on the floor. Now, push down with your fists and get your legs up behind you, even if it's only an inch or two. Just get them up, hold them. Good. Now come down slowly and exhale easily. Don't collapse. Don't collapse. Just come down easily. Good. Rest a moment. All right, fine. Now, I'd like you to rest so that your cheek is on the floor, and you just go limp there for a moment. All right? Good. Now, will you come up in the following manner so that you bring your hands up and they come beneath the shoulders and make a big arch in your spine as you come way up. See how Diana's doing that? Now walk in on your knees, right, and stretch both legs straight out. Now, friends, if you are having trouble with the legs and the thighs, look under legs in the exercise book, in our yoga exercise book, and you're going to find all of the exercises that we do there, including the plow and so forth. Now, let's work a little with the knees and the calves and the ankles and the feet, and let's do this. I'd like you to take your right foot and rest it as high as you can on your left thigh. Beginners, just on the knee would be sufficient, and more advanced students get the heel way up into the groin area, way up in here. Rest your forearm on your right knee and depress that knee a little, holding your left foot, and just sit that way for a few moments, and we'll be back with our exercises following this message. Now, friends, today I would like to tell you a little more of the very little known and vital facts which you're going to learn from my special yoga nutrition book, and you've never seen a nutrition book of this nature. You're going to learn some startling information regarding such things as dairy products, which should and should not be used for our study. Now, there's a vital section on a highly misunderstood subject, proteins. Is the high-protein diet really of value? An important section on all animal products, fish, poultry, meats, eggs, and their value from our yogic point of view. And things you should absolutely know about spices, seasoning, beverages, artificial stimulants, a full week's menus, nutrition for children, dozens of special recipes and health drinks, a section on permanent weight control, and so many other things to help you in our yoga plan to good health. Now, to get your copy of this valuable book immediately, here is all that you need do. Just send your name, your address, and $2 to Yoga for Health, Post Office Box 109, Hollywood 28, California. That's just $2 for all costs to Yoga for Health, Box 109, Hollywood 28, California, and do it today, friends. Friends, that's a fine movement for the legs. If you stretch your right leg straight out now, little by little, this knee will really begin to loosen up for you. I know for many of you, there's a lot of cramps and tightness according to your letters in these exercises, especially this one with dealing with the knee, but that will disappear if you're a little patient and persistent, and you'll feel the new youth returning to your legs, and that'll be marvelous. Say a brief tip, a nutrition tip. I think you'll find the value regarding unsaturated oils, the polyunsaturated oils that you've been hearing so much about recently, and that people interested in health foods have been speaking about for decades. Friends, you hear a lot about safflower oil these days. I'm sure that that's all the rage, probably where you are. And I want to point out to you that safflower is just one of the many polyunsaturated oils that can be used. I want you to be aware that there are such wonderful products as sesame seed oil. That's marvelous for cooking and so forth. Pure olive oil is a marvelous oil also. There is even pure peanut oil and other polyunsaturated oils, and you'll find those in most markets now, and I suggest you take advantage of them. You'll find them to be quite advantageous to add to your diets. All right, friends, now, again, getting back to your letters, many questions regarding the abdominal area. What can I do for my abdomen? What can I do to make it tight again, to bring back the muscle tone, to keep the organs and glands from falling and all of this area from sagging and so forth? And here are a number of techniques that will be just wonderful to accomplish that very thing, as well as to help reduce the inches in the waistline here, which is an internal problem essentially. All right, now, here's what I'd like you to do. For firming in the abdominal area first, I'd like you to swing around so that you are sitting on your heels. I see the way we're doing that. In other words, you're lowering yourself down to your heels as best you can. All right, now, watch Diane, new students and former students. We're going to do our all fours exercise. If you reach forward the way you see Diane doing here, you know, just like a dog or a cat now, you're on all fours, and then switch the position of your feet so that you're on your toes. See how Diane's done that? Right, okay. Now, we simply want you to make a great arch with your spine as you come up slowly for firming, right, and with the head going down. Now, you may be only getting up a few inches. That's perfectly all right. It's the whole that's important. And now come down slowly. We'd rather do 2 or 3 slowly, friends, than 100 quickly. Remember, that's our philosophy in yoga. All right, now ready to repeat? All right, see if you can get up a little higher this time, okay? So that you move forward slowly with a lot of grace and poise. It's a very beautiful posture. It's a great arch. You see it, new students, glance at your screen. Good, and you can feel the abdominal area having to work and strengthen and firm. Now, come down very slowly so that you drop down to the knees easily. All right, good. Now, if you come back slowly and swing around, we're going to do our abdominal lift, and this is for purposes of bringing back all the organs and glands where they should be, which is generally high, and really for also helping to reduce in this area. All right, I'm speaking now about the inches, and of course it has a marvelous cleansing effect also. It's very hygienic in nature. So for our abdominal lift, new students, carefully look at Diane. We're going to do 10 to start off with, and we're going to exhale first. And remember, that's the trick here, to exhale, get all the air out. Right, okay, now ready, Diane? Let's do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, now relax a minute. Let's take a complete breath. All right, let's get the wind back. All right, now, get the idea. We're going to really exhale, all the air coming way out. All right, now let's do 10 more. Ready? In, Diane, out. To see all the movement that's going down there. Right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, all right, relax a moment. Now, for those of you who haven't quite understood the movement yet, let me show you that this is not simply a contraction. Do that with me now. Pull your abdominal muscles in. That's what I'm doing. You see, it's not simply a contraction, it's a lift. Now, see the difference. Here's the contraction, but when you exhale, you can lift. See how that is? All right, it's a completely natural movement. Don't be frightened by it. All you're doing is creating a vacuum so that you can pull up the area down here. Now, let's try to do 20. New students, stop at 10, and former students, we're going to do 20. And don't forget to really snap the abdominal area out. All right? Now, ready, Diane? Let's take a complete breath, really get the air back in. All right? And now, out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, good. Relax a moment now and take a complete breath where the abdominal area comes out and the chest and the shoulders are raised. Good. And now very slowly exhale. Good. And you get all your air back. All right, that's wonderful. Now, let's stretch the legs straight out. And again, for firming in here, let's do our back push-up and leg routine. This is a very powerful, dynamic routine. You don't have to put out very much energy either in doing it. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about it. So if you lie down slowly, all right, let's do that without using your hands if you can. That'll help to toughen you up in that abdominal area. Now, let's do this, friends. Let's bring the hands back so that they're near the ears and your fingertips resting on the floor. Fingertips or your palms, all right? And now, if you bring your feet up so that the soles of your feet are resting on the floor close in to you. See how that is? Heels right in close to you? All right, now what we're going to do is to do a kind of a back push-up, which is to push down with the hands and the soles of the feet and try to get a great arch in there as best you can. Now, the head, of course, remains on the floor. You see how that is? All right? And come down very slowly. Good. Come down slowly. Take your time doing that. Now, keep your hands where they are. Bring your knees up toward you. All right? Do that, Diane? Good. And now stretch your legs straight out in the air and lower them slowly in a count of 10. 3, 4, 5. And you feel how the abdominal area must firm if you do that slowly. All right? Regardless of your age or even physical condition, you can do a great deal with each one of these exercises if you'll just try them. All right? Now, once again, soles of the feet come up, and let's repeat this movement so that you push down, all right, and you come up as far as you can, good, and hold it now just a little longer this time, good, a great arch, and now you very slowly come down, okay, Bring the knees in toward you as you do that. Now, right, roll yourself up in a little ball and stretch the legs straight out and lower them slowly in the count of 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say, hold your heels an inch from the floor for an extra few seconds if you can. You'll get the utmost of toning in the abdominal area. Good. Now relax completely and bring your arms down to your sides and see if you can sit up without using your hands. And do it slowly and very gracefully, all right? Good. And so swing around. Now, if you're having trouble with the abdominal area, again, look in your yoga exercise book under abdomen. You get all of the exercises we've just done plus many others. Now, I'd like you to stretch your legs straight out, and this time let's work with the left knee and ankle. So if you bring your left foot up as high as you can on the right thigh and rest your forearm on your left knee. And we'll be back with our exercises following this message. You know, friends, one of the most frequent comments that I hear from our mothers and housewives is, if only my husband and my children would practice the yoga exercises. They need them so badly. But often children or husbands are at work or at school when your program is on, they write. What shall I do? Well, here's a wonderful suggestion that has worked for thousands of people. Just leave the yoga exercise book that I've written for these programs where your husband or youngsters can see it. And you will be surprised to see that sooner or later the other members of your family are going to want to try the exercises. And you know, once they do and they see how wonderful they are, we find that almost always they continue. The basic exercises are easy to learn from this book, as you know if you have it. And by the way, for convenience, friends, the exercise books, which were formerly 2 exercise books, have now been combined into this one book. The subject matter is exactly the same. Now, if you don't as yet have your exercise book, here is how to get your copy at once. Just send your name, your address, and $2 to Yoga for Health, Box 109, Hollywood 28, California. Now, you should have a copy of this book, so send just $2 to Yoga for Health, Box 109, Hollywood 28, California. All right, friends, will you stretch that left leg straight out now? Just relax for a moment. You can rub your knee if you have to, very gently. All right? Friends, it's very important for you to understand never to confuse yoga with either religion or fakirism. Yoga is not a religion. It is, if you couldn't call it anything, a philosophy. And it is a philosophy which will, I am sure, be in tune and harmony with everyone's religion and perhaps lend a broader scope or expansion to one's way of thinking. Secondly, not to confuse yoga with fakirism means not to confuse the exercises that we are doing here, completely natural and beautiful postures, with the feats of self-hypnosis and magic that are generally thought of in connection with the fakir. He's the fellow who swallows the fire and stares at the sun and can pierce his body with nails and sit on the bed of nails and do things of this nature. He is not faking. He's not a faker. He's a fakir. This is a Sanskrit word. The point is that what he is doing is unnatural, and what we are doing in yoga is completely natural, and the yogi will never in any way do anything which is unnatural or harmful to the body. On the contrary, he's aware of the tremendous potential powers within the body, and he wants to bring these out, as well as develop the mind and help relax the mind. And so here we have a system which not only relaxes our body, but as we do the techniques will also help to both develop and give us a certain tranquility or natural calmness of the mind. I'll show you the position in which to meditate or sit for a few minutes each day if you really want to quiet your mind. This is the position that has been used for this particular purpose for many thousands of years. If you would just cross your legs in that half lotus posture, if you'll watch me, and then if you will let your index finger touch to either thumb and rest the hands on your knees, and if you were to lower your eyelids just halfway, in other words, don't close them so that you go to sleep, but lower them halfway and just sit in this posture, you would find your mind becoming very restful and that you could really relax. And if you stay that way about a minute or two, you'd find that you had a great revitalization. If you'd like to try it right now, I suggest you do. After the program, you'll find it extremely relaxing. Well, friends, our half hour has flown by. See you again tomorrow. And until then, this is Richard Hittleman wishing you all the wonderful new life that will be yours through Yoga for Health.
This has been Yoga for Health with Richard Hittleman, the nation's leading exponent of yoga exercises. If you feel you've benefited from Mr. Hittleman's new way to health, beauty, and a better life, tell your friends. And join us each day for another dynamic journey in well-being with Richard Hittleman.